As part of my ongoing series exploring the Dutch alphabet, today we are covering three more letters, an installment of three letters, and those letters are S, T, and U. S, T, and U. So let's get started. For the letter S, I have made a comprehensive, well, not a comprehensive list, but a selective list, and it's fairly long. And so to aid my memory, I've written it down. So forgive me from glancing aside from time to time. The first S that I would like to mention is truly delicious, and that's speck, which is bacon, which is a key ingredient of Dutch cuisine. You're going to find that in the stamppot and other traditional dishes, and that's speck. Then you have speculaas, which is a spiced short crust biscuit commonly enjoyed during another great Dutch S, Sinterklaas, which is celebrated on the 5th of December. It's distinct from Christmas. It has some similarities to Christmas because you do have Sinterklaas himself, who is a counterpart to Santa Claus, but different. He actually originates from St. Nicholas. And that is a holiday, again, celebrated on the 5th of December, very popular with the kids. And that's Sinterklaas. So a great S here in the Netherlands. One that I want to mention that's so personal to me. I should have mentioned it under the letter B. I could have mentioned it under the letter K or K, but I have one last opportunity under this letter S, and that is the Sint Bavo Kerk, which is the Saint Bavo Church here in Haarlem. There are actually two Sint Bavo Kerken here in Haarlem. One is the old original church, which is Protestant originally, and still is. And then there is the more recent, larger Saint Bavo Kerk, and that is, well, really a cathedral. That is a Catholic church here also in Haarlem. So we have the good fortune of having two Sint Bavo Kerken. And it's so personal to me, and I've expressed this in other videos. When I first came here to Haarlem so many moons ago, I still remember walking down Janstraat from the station towards the center, and there's a certain point when you turn the corner, and there rises up in front of you the grand, spectacular St. Bavo Kerk. And it was so emotional to me in that moment when I first laid eyes on that spectacular church. And it really, I don't know if it was the play of the light or the moment, but it really felt like a living, breathing thing, like a great mythical beast in a way. And I knew that I had arrived home. I knew then that I had arrived at a place that I truly wanted to be and to stay. And fortunately, I was able to, and I've been here for 22 years in the shadow of Sint Bavo Kerk. So that is a great S here in the Netherlands. Another S that I have noted is schilders. Schilders. Whew, that's a tricky one. It just is a difficult word for me, for the word painters. And of course, the Netherlands is famous for its painters, Golden Age painters and beyond, contemporary artists as well. And we might think of Rembrandt. We might think, of course, of Vermeer, which is he's a personal favorite and one of the all-time greats, Van Gogh. I think I did that a little bit better than I used to. I know in the US we refer to him as Van Gogh, which is hard for the Dutch to hear. Van Gogh. He's one of the greats, and he has a museum dedicated to him exclusively in Amsterdam. Definitely worth a visit if you are ever in town. So that's the word schilders. And of course, in terms of delicacies, there's stamppot, which again is a traditional Dutch dish made by mashing potatoes with vegetables like kale or sauerkraut. And sometimes next to the stamppot, they put a rookworst, which is a smoked sausage. So that's a delicacy here. And when I think of places that begin with the letter S, I think, for me, of Sloten, which is also a district in Amsterdam. And that's not the Sloten that I'm referring to. I'm referring to the city, town, I would really say, in Friesland, which is just so lovely, a charming town. The other S that I want to mention is the city of Snake, which is also in Friesland, like Sloten. And it's famous for its water sports and its annual Snakeweek sailing event. Another couple S's that I think of are the Snell train and the Sprinter. Those are both names of trains. The Snell train is no longer in existence. It was, Snell means fast, and that was kind of the direct train, which has, I guess, since been replaced by the intercity trains, which are sort of more direct connections. And I used to joke sarcastically sometimes that the Snell train was really the snail train because it wasn't always so fast. There were sometimes delays, and so it was more like a snail than it was Snell. That was me being clever back in the day, I guess. But that train, as I say, has been replaced by the intercity trains. And now you also, in addition to the intercity trains, have what are called sprinters. And those make more frequent stops along the route for commuters. So those are two S's worth mentioning. Another one is spekkoek, which is a Dutch-Indonesian layered cake rich in spices like cardamom, cinnamon, and anise. Delicious delicacy. And staufer, which is a former Dutch coin worth 1/20th of a guilder, which was the currency prior to the euro. So it was really like a 5-cent coin. And it is used as a nickname for the 5-cent coin, until the introduction of the euro. Another S is sprouts, which are Brussels sprouts. We have more or less the same word, and that's often associated with Dutch winter cuisine. One of my favorite S's, stroopwafels. I've mentioned that numerous times, and they are little thin waffle cookies filled with caramel. And if you're ever here, I recommend that you get them in the market where they're made fresh. You can smell them from some distance, and it's really a real treat. Another S is Spinoza. You will hear of him from time to time. He is a 17th century Dutch philosopher known for his works on rationalism and ethics, Spinoza. And here is a bit of a tongue twister for many, and that is Scheveningen. I think I did okay with that this time. And Scheveningen is a beach resort just outside of The Hague and is definitely very popular in the summertime with the Dutch and with many tourists as well. So I recommend that if you're ever in these parts. Now, okay, this S, forgive me, is a little bit controversial, but I wanted to say that it was named the Dutch word of 2008. And oh God, here we go. And that is the word swaffelen. Oh my goodness. It is a slang term in Dutch. And you know what? I'm not even going to get into what it means. I invite you to dig into it and have a look for yourself to sort out what that means. I only mention it because it is the Dutch word of 2008. So, and it begins with an S, swaffelen. Now, let's shift gears, thankfully, to my favorite S, and that is Sparna. And that is the great mighty river that flows through the city that I call home, Haarlem. And in fact, Haarlem, in addition to being called the Bloemenstad, which is Flower City, it's also referred to as the Sparnestad, which is the city of the river Sparna. And the river really does contribute to the overall beauty of this city. So for me, it is my favorite S. Te, or tea, is another great Dutch letter because there are lots of great T's here in the Netherlands, and I've had to make note of them because there are so many that I would probably overlook some if I didn't write them down. The first one that I've noted is the island of Texel, just off the north coast of the Netherlands. It's the largest of the Dutch Wadden Islands, known for its nature reserves and sandy beaches. I've been there, and it's very beautiful. The nature is lovely, and you can rent bikes and ride all throughout the island. Another wonderful island there in that region and part of the Wadden Islands is Terschelling. So that's another great Tay worth mentioning. Another great Tay is La Trappe beer. It's a Dutch brewery that produced the Trappist beer made by monks following strict traditions. So that's a great Tay worth drinking. And another Tay, which is, boy, almost my favorite of them, is the word Thuis, Thuis. And that really means home. It's not the word house, it means home. And in fact, the Dutch have a wonderful expression, a saying, which is Oost, West, Thuis, Best, which I love, which just translates East, West, home, best. And it's so true. I'm sure we can all relate to that expression. No matter where we may roam, home is ultimately the best. You know, when we arrive back at our home and put our head down on our pillow in our bed, there's no place like home. So that's Thuis. Another great Tay here in the Netherlands is Tom Poes, which is a wonderful name for a layered puff pastry, a dessert filled with custard and topped with bright pink icing. You can't miss it. And it's very sweet, very tasty. Another couple of, a few place names that begin with the letter T are Twente, which is the region in the east of the Netherlands, and that includes cities like Enschede and Hengelo. And you also have the city of Tilburg, which is a favorite. It's in North Brabant, and it's known for its textile industry and university there in Tilburg. And a really charming, picturesque city that I love is Thorn, and that is in Limburg, and it is made up of buildings which overall are white, very beautiful. Of course, the whole region is really lovely. So another Tay word is tentoonstelling, and that is just simply the word for exhibition. And I'm an art lover. I once worked in a museum, so I'm quite familiar with exhibitions. And so tentoonstelling is a word that comes to mind for me. And there is a famous long word that includes the word tentoonstelling. It's kind of it's a made-up word, a bit of a tongue twister, and I'll give it a shot. It is Tentoonstelling. I think I did it on the first try, guys. And that's an exhibition of Hottentot tents. The Hottentot, which is a tribe, and their tents are exhibited. And so that's the word Hottentotten, tentoonstelling. Yeah, all smushed together to make an incredible word. Now, that's not my favorite Tay. My favorite Tay, absolutely, is tulpen, which is in English also a T word, tulips. I think it has become my favorite flower. It wasn't necessarily always my favorite flower, but it certainly is now. They come in such a variety of colors and forms, some with the kind of the fringed edges, and well, they're so fresh in terms of their fragrance, a very subtle fragrance. You know, you get in close, and they just are so fresh and so colorful, so festive. I love them, and they're so synonymous with the Netherlands. So tulpen, my favorite Tay. And now we arrive at the letter U, or U, and there are a few. I have on my list Universiteit, which is, university. And there are several famous Dutch universities, one being the university in Leiden, and Erasmus, which is in Rotterdam, and of course the university in Amsterdam, and also in Groningen. And there's one, as I've mentioned, in Tilburg. So a lot of great famous Dutch universities, universiteit. That's a great U word. And another one that I've made note of is Unax, which is a Dutch brand known for sausages and soups and other traditional foods. A couple of place names, a few place names that come to mind are Uitgeest, which is a town in North Holland known for its historic windmills and proximity to the Alkmaar cheese market, another city here in the Netherlands, and Uithoorn, which is a small town near Amsterdam, located along the Amstel River. And more interesting, well, I shouldn't say more interesting, but unique is the town Urk, U-R-K, U-R-K. It is a former island in the IJsselmeer. Oh dear, did I just say Donkey Lake again? I've been called out on that in the past. My pronunciation of IJsselmeer, I tend to say Ezel, like donkey, Donkey Lake. I still say there should be a Donkey Lake here in the Netherlands, but okay, let's get back on track. The IJsselmeer is a lake which used to be the Zuiderzee until it was closed off by the industrious Dutch. And part of that was Urk, which was an island. And now it's known for its fishing heritage and its strong community traditions. It's a very traditional town, and they still wear traditional outfits there in Urk. So that's an interesting U. Another one is the UWV, UWV, which is the Dutch Employment Insurance Agency responsible for unemployment and disability benefits. If you ever have the misfortune of becoming unemployed in the Netherlands, you will contact, without a doubt, the UWV, and they will sort you out. Now, my favorite U is a place, and I love it very much, and that's Utrecht. That is a major Dutch city, home to the country's largest university and the Dom Tower, which has hundreds of steps, and you can climb to the very top for spectacular views. And Utrecht is a university city, as I mentioned, so it's quite lively, and there are many interesting shops there and little restaurants. It's kind of two-tier. You know, there's a canal that runs through, more than one, but one main canal, and on the lower portion you have many restaurants and cafes which are built into these cave-like dwellings. And then above, of course, are the main streets with more shops and more restaurants. So it is such a charming city, and it is my favorite U. There you have it, the letters S, T, and U in Dutch. I hope you enjoyed this small sample, and I encourage you to let me know in the comments your favorite things starting with these three letters. I want to thank you again for watching my videos, and I hope you will tune in to subsequent installments of the alphabet. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best. Tot ziens!